You can't have a good workout or a beach body without doing rows. The reason is you have to build a big V-tapered back to really show off the best physique that you can. Even more important, well, you're gonna build bigger forearms, bigger upper arms, and improve your posture and shoulder health when you incorporate rows. Unfortunately, most people do them incorrectly. They act like they're starting a lawnmower. Specifically, if you're a man, building a strong, wide back is a huge sign of power. More importantly, that's what's gonna help turn heads, and that's what's gonna keep you strong and functional across the board. And the good news is, you do not need a lot of equipment. You do not need a fully equipped gym. You don't even need a barbell. In fact, barbell bent over rows, they're a solid exercise, but most people, they end up beating up their back. So one-arm dumbbell rows are gonna be the most diverse and powerful exercise that you can do to build that V-tapered back. So here's exactly what you need to do to optimize your one-arm dumbbell row and 6 mistakes you need to avoid. You ready? Let's do it. Before you go any further, it's 100% crucial that you watch the rest of this video and hit subscribe now. Mistake number 1. As you can see in this demonstration, my arm angle is actually too tight, meaning we're less than 90 degrees. When this happens, we're actually overemphasizing the bicep in terms of being the primary mover. What we want to do is we want to emphasize your lats, which are crucial for creating that V-tapered physique. So when you're doing your rows, make sure that we're keeping about a 90-degree angle between your forearm and your upper arm. That's going to lead to a much harder contraction and better muscular development. Mistake number 2, acting like you're starting a lawnmower. Back in high school, my coaches say, hey, we're gonna call these things lawnmowers. You know what? That didn't really serve us. The reason is, when you have no eccentric control, when you're just ripping the bar or the dumbbell off the ground, you're not applying a ton of tension directly to your muscles. Sure, you might be being explosive, but your form is gonna be all over the map. The most important phase of a muscular contraction for building lean muscle is the eccentric phase. That is when you are lowering the weight down. Most times when you see people in the gym, they're just racing directly through their dumbbell rows. Instead, what you should be doing is you should be taking 3 to 4 seconds to lower that weight under control, making sure that your muscles are the ones that are dictating how the movement is being performed, not momentum. When you slow down this process, you're gonna actually improve that mind-muscle connection directly with it. And when you can feel a muscle contract, it's gonna be that much more effective in terms of a muscle building exercise. So slowing down is gonna improve that mind-muscle connection and help you create more muscle building tension directly through the exercise. Stop cheating on your reps. Slow down, make your muscles do the work. There are no Olympics for having a heavy one-arm dumbbell row. Mistake number 3, no pause at the peak contraction. By peak contraction, I mean the top of the rep. If you can't feel a muscle contract, you're gonna have one hell of a time making it grow. And specifically when it comes to your lats, if you can't feel your lats contract, you're probably wondering why your back training is so ineffective. So here's what you need to do. First, when you begin doing your one-arm dumbbell row, you want to imagine actually initiating the movement by pulling with your elbow. When you focus on pulling with your elbow, you're gonna engage that lat much more effectively. Then when you get to the top of the range of motion, that's when the dumbbell is up closest towards your torso. You wanna pause for 1 to 2 seconds so you feel that lat contract hard. A bonus tip, if you look at the muscle fibers of your lats, they actually have a pennation angle, meaning they are angled very slightly around your rib cage. So at the very top, if you drive your elbow just around your rib cage to squeeze a little bit harder, you're gonna improve that mind-muscle connection and have a much harder muscular contraction to build your lats more effectively. If you wanna lose fat and build muscle, the number 1 thing you need to do, join our Look Great Naked protocol. Head to the link below, book your transformation call, and hit subscribe. Mistake number 4, no stretch at the bottom of your one-arm dumbbell row. This is a huge mistake because your lats are a notoriously tight muscle. When you think about it, your arms are just hanging all day long and swinging, right? Well, a lot of people end up having very tight lats and then they shorten the range of motion when it comes to doing a one-arm dumbbell row. If you've done other exercises like a Bulgarian split squat or a Romanian deadlift, you probably felt that deep, incredible soreness where you can hardly peel your ass off the toilet the next day. It's not fun, right? Well, the reason is you have a massive stretch followed by a muscular contraction. So when we take that same idea and we apply it to a row and get a great stretch all the way through, we're creating a harder muscular contraction on the backside of that stretch, making it a more effective muscle building exercise. While you keep your core braced and your arms stabilized, what you want to do is allow that eccentric motion to have a full stretching of your scapula, so your shoulder blades can pull apart at the bottom range of motion while keeping your core in place. Then initiate that pull by driving your elbow back, pausing and squeezing as hard as you can. When you combine that great stretch on the front side with a harder muscular contraction, then you have the perfect exercise to build a bigger, wider back. Number 5, letting grip strength be a limiting factor. Listen, yeah, you need a strong grip, But if your grip is a limiting factor in an exercise, it's going to prevent you from training the other muscles which are also important. In this case, if your grip is too weak and you're constantly dropping the weight when you're doing a one-arm row, well, you're not going to train your back effectively enough to really get it to grow. So in this case, using something like straps is going to be completely fine. So if you're using straps, this is what I recommend. Only use them on your hardest sets. So for example, if you're ramping up your weight on each consistent set, what you want to do is do it without straps, build that grip strength, make sure that you're getting strong. Then on that final top end set or ultra high rep set, that's when you want to use a strap. What that's going to allow you to do is actually going to decrease the neuromuscular demand of the exercise because hard grip strength is incredibly demanding. On top of that, you're going to be able to overload your lats, overload your traps, overload your back musculature much more effectively without your grip being a limiting factor. Mistake number 6, over pulling at the top of your row, which can lead to anterior humeral glide. What is that? Well, generally speaking, doing horizontal pulls like rows are great for your back, great for shoulder health, and great for posture. When you over pull, you actually go right back into the same computer guide posture that you're in all day when you're on your phone and when you're on your computer. What happens is the humerus, that's your upper arm bone, crushes into that front side of the shoulder capsule, which can cause impingement and also tick off your bicep tendon. So when you are doing a one-arm row, what you want to do is you want to come up to around 90 degrees, maybe a little bit more, but don't just pull back as far as you can, because that can actually cause some issues when it comes to overall shoulder health, and it's not going to provide any additional benefit when it comes to building lean muscle, specifically on your back. One-arm rows are a great exercise, but you have to do them correctly. Ultimately, joint position dictates muscle function. So if you're doing it with improper form, you're leaving benefits by the wayside. Avoid those 6 mistakes and you're good to go. Did you find this helpful? If so, pound that like button and hit subscribe. Now, if you want a free copy of our Chiseled Muscle Cheat Sheet, the no BS way to help you lose body fat and build lean muscle in 90 days, make sure that you go to the description below and download your free copy. Any questions? Drop them in the comments, and can't wait to see you with the next video.